colleague is Peter Pistardo, and we are the consultants that the board has selected to do the superintendent search. Our company is West Hudson Associates, and our official address is a state of New York address. It's Malden on the Hudson, which reflects the new place where I have my primary dwelling, which is in the Hudson Valley. But both of us have considerable experience in the state of New Jersey. I was a superintendent for 20 years in the state of New Jersey, and I was an administrator and a teacher for 20 more years in the state of New Jersey. My professional experience is entirely in the state of New Jersey. And I was the Commissioner of Education for 4 years, from 2002 to the end of 2005, almost 4 years. So my experience is over 40 years in the state of New Jersey. Peter will speak to his experience shortly. We presently, in addition to doing leadership kind of work in a consulting capacity, we both also work for the Graduate School of Education at Rutgers University in an organization that I direct called the Rutgers Institute for Improving Student Achievement. But the work that we do in terms of search consultant work, we do not do as a result of Rutgers, because we've advised the Graduate School of Education that it really isn't advisable for them to be engaging in selecting superintendents, because what happens in that is sometimes boards of education who lose superintendents have some issue with the state university getting involved in picking and sorting and helping people hire superintendents. So that's a minor point, but that's who we are, what we do, at least insofar as I'm concerned. And the West Hudson Associates, you are looking at the two associates who will do the search completely. There's no one else who's going to be involved, just the two of us. So Peter, why don't you
my name's Pete
say
Pistardo.
something about your
I also work with Bill at the Graduate School of Ed. Before that, I was the Director of Teacher Education at Rutgers at Cook College. And before that, I was Superintendent of Schools right here in Freehold Township for 7 years. And before that, Department of Ed and a whole series of other things. Also, my children graduated from this particular high school, and both of them are doing extremely well. So I have quite a bit of knowledge about the school district, and I also read the newspapers and we've attended some board meetings. So we've gotten a feel for the community over the last 7 years since I've been gone. And as Bill said, I think we have quite a bit of experience with school districts and superintendents in the state of New Jersey. I also am the director of the New Jersey School Development Council, which is probably the largest staff development council for superintendents and central office people in the state. We have about 85 to 100 school districts that are members of our organization, and we do training, leadership training for superintendents, and we also do training for teachers and administrators. That's a pretty wide network of people as well. So I think in addition to the years of service that we've had working as full-time superintendents, we also have and still have are involved with school systems and a network of school systems and superintendents, which is always helpful when you do this type of search.
Between the two of us, we have conducted more than 10 superintendent searches. Because this is a small organization and the searches always will involve me and someone else. And Peter is now working with me. Another gentleman used to work with me but has decided he didn't want to continue. And it's also, he's located in North Jersey, so that's a factor for him. We purposefully want to limit the superintendent searches we do to no more than 2 a year, though we don't even have another one right now. And that's because the nature of this, given the fact that it's the two of us, We want to be able to devote the kind of time that's necessary to doing this work. And when we gave a proposal to the Board of Education, we gave it to them in two parts. The first was the actual search, where you meet with the board, you listen to how the board would like to proceed, you give them the ideas that you have by virtue of the experience that you've had, and you decide how it is that you're going to run the search. And then it is advertised, and then the recruiting starts, and then we review resumes, we do interviews, and then we do preliminary reference checks. We then give finalists or semi-finalists to the board then interviews, and then they select. That's the classic superintendent search process. We'll talk a little bit more about what's involved in that. But we've also felt, both of us for a long time, that it is the first year after someone is selected where it is important for some additional continuation of support to exist. And so we gave a proposal to the board that said, we can do the search and stop at the end of the search when you select. We would prefer, but it is your option, that what we would do is stay with the district for 12 months after the selection, where what we would do is work in some capacity to support district initiatives that the board and the superintendent decide our assistance would be helpful. And that can take a lot of different forms. That can be retreats, that can be goal setting, that can be assisting in strategic plans. The whole point of this is that when you are a consultant and you are in the process of representing a district, and then you are representing people to a district, you have, in our judgment, an ethical responsibility to see that partnership works as best as possible, and to the degree that you can make a contribution for that next year, which is the critical first year, especially in a district where a district has had the same superintendent for more than a decade. That becomes important. The board has decided they wanted to do that. We were the only consultants who offered that option. We do not know the basis that they have used for the selection, but I think it's important for you and for all the people with whom we interact in these focus meetings that we're having and in any public kind of session, for people to know that's the nature of what we are going to do. Now, I'll explain a little bit about the process and what's involved in that. We advise a little differently than most consultants advise. And not to say that what they do is wrong, it's just what we do, we think has some real advantages. And that is, we told the board that before you establish criteria, before you place an ad anywhere, before you post this position, we think it is more advisable to have a series of outreach efforts where you ask the faculty and the staff, and we've done that through a survey, and we had a meeting this afternoon for teachers who wanted to come here, and we're going to do the same in Howell on Wednesday, because we think it's really important to ask questions of the stakeholders in the largest sense of the word.
Are you going to the northern part of the regional at all?
No, what we're doing is we've sent the survey to all teachers in
I know,
all
I'm
high
just
schools.
curious why you picked two of the most southern schools.
Well, what we did was say to the central office, because on the logistical side of things, that's for them to tell us how to do this.
Figures.
So we had no preference. We would go wherever they said to go.
Tells me everything.
Yeah, we would
The
have to go.
survey that you have there,
Tells me everything.
Okay.
the survey you have there is also going to be online, so those who cannot make it tonight can fill it out online,
That's right.
be online
That's
either
right.
later tonight or
And the-
tomorrow.
And the
It'll be out
survey
for the
is
whole week.
available to everyone who
Yeah.
lives
On the
in the
Middlesex Community
communities,
Survey.
whether or not
Yeah, it'll be on the board's website.